Hey guys, it's Daniela. I'm here with comedian Dan Mintz. Dan, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. How are you feeling?
I'm good. Yeah. Thanks for interviewing me after the show. 'Cause I was way too nervous before to
Understandable.
interview.
You feel good now?
I feel good now. Yeah.
So tell me, what inspired you to go for a career in comedy?
I mean, I think I never really thought that I could do stand-up because I had only ever seen like high energy stand-ups. It's something that always seemed like cool to me, but I was like I could never do that. And then when I was, I think like the summer before college, I was in New York with my dad, and we went to a comedy show, and I saw this comedian, Mitch Fatel, who is low energy like me, and he was hilarious and killing. And I was like, oh, I could actually do this. And I went in. It took me about a year to get up the courage to do it, but then I went, and it didn't do as well as Mitch Fatel did, but gradually I worked at it.
So how would you describe your early years as a comic?
It was terrifying, I'd say. You get used to it over time, but there's nothing like the vulnerability of getting up there the first few times.
Absolutely. And you got comfortable after a while?
Never. I still get stage fright after 16 years, but not nearly as bad.
You also were a writer for several comedic shows. You wrote for Crank Yankers, The Andy Milionakis Show, and Human Giant with Aziz Ansari. How is writing for a sketch comedy show different from writing stand-up?
Well, writing, I actually like writing sketches or script or like half-hour scripts a lot better than writing stand-ups. Writing stand-up is my least favorite thing to write because when you're writing a longer form script, you kind of get a momentum, ideas build off each other, and you just kind of gradually progress like towards your goal. And then with stand-up, at least for me, I just tell one-liner or short jokes. It's just I have to create something out of nothing. I'm just sitting there, I have no idea what to write a joke about. And then finally you think of something and it's great, but then, okay, now I have to start over again.
Where do you draw from when you're writing a sketch or writing for stand-up? Like, where do you go for inspiration?
Well, I don't really draw from my personal life in either realm, but I just try to kind of, actually I try to sometimes just on Wikipedia there's like a random article button that just like brings up a totally random article, and I just kind of keep clicking that to try to just get some kind of prompt of an idea. Usually, it seems like half of them are like weird insects or like soccer players, but eventually you get to something that gives me an idea.
I didn't know about that. Thank you for letting me know about
that. Anything
that.
creative.
What got you involved with Bob's Burgers?
Well, I just was very lucky. Just kind of like won the lottery and fell into it. I never was planning to do voiceover. Definitely never planning to play a 13-year-old girl. But John Benjamin, who plays Bob and also Archer and a bunch of other stuff, is just a friend of mine through, I met him writing on a show, and he was definitely going to be in Bob's Burgers, and he just recommended me to Lauren, the creator, and then I got the job. So
that's very sweet.
It's cool, like you work so hard towards things that don't work out, and then finally the thing that works out, you just fell into your lap.
How much creative input do you have in Tina?
I mean, I don't really, I just read the words in the script. The actors do tend to do a lot of improv, although I'm probably the less improv-y of the actors. I just don't have that mind. And also with Tina, it's like Eugene Merman can just make any random reference and it sounds funny with Gene singing, and Tina's different energy. So I don't really probably deserve too much credit for the character. That just the writers did an amazing job creating this character that I get to play it.
Absolutely. You're also involved with Adventure Time. Is that? Am I saying that correctly?
Yeah.
How does that feel? You are in two of the most popular cartoon shows.
Yeah, it's very exciting. Adventure Time is such a different experience because the way it's produced with Bob's, they just give you like a full script of like, just like they'd have for any sitcom. And so you read through it and get what's happening. And Adventure Time is like a lot of animated shows they storyboard them, and so it doesn't have like a lot of action and descriptions, and that show is so surreal that it's like really hard to figure out what's going on. But that's what makes it so fun to do. When I first read it, I just have no idea, and then they have to explain it to me. Okay.
So would you say your experience as a writer for writing sketch shows and being a stand-up comedian, does that help with being a voice actor at all?
Yeah, I mean everything ties like acting and stand-up and writing all ties together because it's all about telling stories, and every time you do it from a different side, you just learn a whole new way of doing things that you can bring to everything.
You also released a comedy album entitled The Stranger in 2014. Why did you decide to do that?
I mean, that took me much longer to release a comedy album than most comedians. I'd already been doing stand-up for 15 years at that point, but I just was, I had been doing stand-up, and then I would get distracted and work a writing job, and then kind of go back to it and go back and forth, and finally I realized, like, I just haven't really written any new stand-up for a while. I've just been doing the same jokes. I'm just going to like write an hour's 45 minutes worth of jokes that I actually like, and finally do an album. And then I just forced myself to write a joke every day, and having that deadline actually made me do it. And then it just felt really good to have it out there.
What advice do you have for people who are say, hey, I'm interested in pursuing a career in comedy or being a comedy writer? What's your advice to them?
Well, first off, I would say do as many things that relate to it as you can. Like, do improv, do stand-up, make YouTube sketches, write specs, write sketches, and eventually you'll find that you're better at some things, worse at other things, and you can abandon the stuff you're not good at. But especially these days, there's no one set path to success. There's just like a million kind of overgrown trails, and you just have to kind of do everything and hope eventually something works out.
It was a pleasure meeting you.
You too. Thanks so much.
Absolutely. We'll see you guys next time.